Hey, welcome! Today we're diving into this really powerful ancient metaphor that gives us a stunningly clear way to understand our own minds. And yeah, it involves the Hindu deity Shiva, the moon, and the very nature of consciousness itself. It's pretty cool stuff.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a single, really potent question. What if your mind works exactly like the moon? Now, I know that sounds a little poetic, but this isn't just about pretty words. It's a functional model, an ancient psychological insight that can totally change how you relate to your own thoughts. All right, let's start with the foundation of this whole idea. We're going to unpack this core metaphor piece by piece. First up, the mind is the moon. Now, think about this from a super simple astronomical point of view. The moon, well, it has no light of its own, right? It's basically a giant reflector. It only shines because it's catching the light of the sun. And all those phases, from new to full, that's not the moon itself changing. It's just about its alignment with the sun. At its core, the moon is just receptive and totally neutral. And this is where the parallel just clicks into place. You see, just like the moon reflects sunlight, our mind reflects stimulus. What does that mean? It means your mind isn't inherently good or bad or calm or chaotic. Just like the moon, it's neutral by nature. It's completely influence-driven, which also means it's trainable. So, the huge takeaway here is incredibly simple. Input decides output. The quality of what's going on in your head is a direct reflection of the stuff you're letting in. If you feed it pure, calm input, you get a mind that mirrors that clarity. If you feed it disturbed, chaotic input, well, you get a mind that mirrors anxiety and confusion. The connection is one-to-one. And that, of course, leads us to the next big question. If the mind is the reflective moon, then what in the world is the sun? What's the source of that pure, illuminating light in our inner universe? In this metaphor, the sun is awareness. Think of it as that deeper part of you, your higher intelligence, your connection to truth, that pure consciousness that's just there. It's the steady, unwavering source of inner light that is always present, whether your mind is reflecting it clearly or not. And this brings us to what happens when things are aligned or not. When our mind, our moon, is properly aligned with our awareness, our sun, the result is emotional balance, stable decisions, a clear sense of direction. But when that alignment is off, when the mind is just left to reflect whatever random chaotic stuff comes its way, that's when we get the restlessness, the overreactions, and that feeling of just mental exhaustion. Now, this is where it all comes together. This is the climax of the metaphor, where the ancient symbolism of Shiva pulls everything into one single profound teaching about what it means to achieve mental mastery. The entire teaching is actually encoded in one powerful image, one you've probably seen a million times. Shiva wears the crescent moon on his head. It's such a simple, stark symbol, and believe me, it is packed with meaning. So it's a beautiful image, for sure. But the real question for us is, what does it actually mean? What is the practical teaching that's hidden in this one ancient symbol? Okay, here it is. This is the core of the whole thing. By placing the moon, which we now know as the mind, on his head, Shiva is showing us that the mind belongs under higher awareness. And notice this is so important. He doesn't destroy the mind. He doesn't crush it or try to silence it. He masters it. He uses the mind as the incredible tool it's meant to be, but he never, ever lets it become the authority. And this all leads to a single, really transformative shift in how you see everything. It's this. Thoughts are to be observed, not automatically obeyed. This is the realization that you are the awareness watching the thoughts. You are not the thoughts themselves. Okay, so we've got this really powerful insight, but how do we actually do this? How do we take this beautiful idea and turn it into a practical path we can walk every single day? Well, we basically have a choice between two very different ways of dealing with our mind. On one side, you've got what's called the Tamasic approach. Think of it as heavy, chaotic, always reacting. This is the path of fighting negativity, trying to suppress thoughts, reacting emotionally to everything. It is absolutely exhausting. But then there's the Sattvic approach, which is all about balance, clarity, and consciousness. This path is completely different. You don't fight the mind, you focus on changing the input and raising your awareness, and you let that clarity dissolve the negativity all by itself. And look how practical this gets. If you want to change the light your mind reflects, you just have to control the stimulus. It really boils down to 4 key areas of your life:
the food you're eating, the media you're consuming, the company you're keeping, and finally, the thoughts you actively choose to focus on. So as we wrap this up, let's just circle back to that foundational truth, the one this whole idea is built on. The mind has no light of its own, it's a perfect mirror, and it will shine exactly according to the input it reflects. And that, right there, is the key to making this all effortless. You don't have to fight your mind. You don't have to wrestle with it. You just changed the stimulus, the input, and the mind will change automatically. It's a law of its nature. And finally, always remember the highest teaching from this amazing metaphor. The ultimate goal isn't to have a silent, empty mind. The goal that Shiva represents is so much more powerful. It's not the silence of thought, but the mastery over thought.